Hi guys, welcome back to Tell Insights. Today we continue our conversation with Eloni Vunakece. In episode 1 we spoke to Eloni about his journey. Growing up in Sydney playing rugby league, a journey which took him to the West Tigers as an under-20s player, across to France and then back for the Battle of the Bati, where he finally won selection for his beloved Fiji to play in the 2013 World Cup. In this episode we talked to Eloni about his experiences in that 2013 World Cup, his return to Sydney to try and force his way into the NRL, and an incredible performance by the Bati in the 2017 Rugby League World Cup when they took on and beat Tier 1 nation New Zealand. Eloni's journey continues and we talk to him about his fitness philosophy and finally his performance in the Australian Ninja Warrior and beyond. I hope you enjoy episode 2 of our conversation with Eloni Vunakece.
Things up a little bit. Ryan Miller misses his man, taken on by Talent Sims, inside ball and try for Eloni Vunakece. That's how you execute.
So I turned around with the biggest smile on my face, walked up the stairs, hugged Jimmy Storer, and there's a cool photo of all us boys standing out there. We got tears like streaming down my face, and I actually went down into the tunnel, thanked the coach and said, look coaches, I appreciate you for choosing me aside. I just got one problem. I've got to go back to France and play my first 3 rounds of my regular season. And they're like, look, we're aware of that. That's fine. You go do that. Look after yourself. Don't get injured. And we look forward to seeing you in England. We'll meet you over there. And so I missed out on the first couple of weeks at camp in Fiji, but met up with the boys in England and tore my hamstring day 1 of training. So that wasn't great. We were lucky enough to have a good physio on board, but he nursed me back to health. Actually, so the second I tore it, Petro came straight over to me. He goes, mate, look after that hamstring. Petro ran straight over to me. He goes, mate, look after yourself. We're going to need you for this. We're going to need you for this whole campaign here. And mate, I thought he was a great bloke before then, but like to instill some sort of confidence within me, a bloke we sort of barely knew. Like, and he was a hero of mine. I remember sitting on the sideline of Roosters beat Broncos, and right in front of Petro and watching Petro hammer off the back fence and just skid over the Roosters line. It was one of the coolest things ever to watch. But Cork getting suspended meant that I got to start. Off the kickoff against Samoa for the World Cup quarter final, I was standing on the 40-metre line and got to watch the kickoff. I turned around, just got to watch Petro run head on straight at me. And I was just like, this is just a dream, man. Like, what the hell am I even doing here? I just stood watching the what's the dance called? The Civitar with Aku, like under Aku Bate's arm. Him just saying, oh, mate, saying, come on, you wanna give us a challenge? Come on, man, come at us. Just hearing Aku say it in his voice that he says, I don't know, just I was surrounded by some of like Queensland great in Petro. New South Wales great in Aku, and I was here living. I remember like it was probably 9 years prior. I was watching Petro run it straight off the back fence against Roosters, and here I was getting to watch Petro run straight at me. Yet I was his teammate. There's so many cool things of which I hope someone can take something in mind. I was lucky enough to make a commitment to myself after watching Rupeni there in the 2003 Union World Cup. And I got to live some pretty cool sort of life dreams.
And speaking of those cool life dreams, so Fiji, doesn't do a haka or a sibidao or anything like that at the start of the game. Can you take me through Fiji's hymn at the start and what it feels like, what that means to you when you're in the middle of that before a game starts?
Yeah, Fijians, deeply religious, as most islanders are. The hymn. Oh, sorry. I'm in your way, kid.
Right.
Go, Jake. She's just driving up the way. For me, it's about representing my dad, and all my Fijian side of my family, my Aussie side too. But yeah, it's mainly just I can only imagine what he thinks of getting to see all of us sing that hymn. That song takes you to pretty much a whole nother level, man. There's something, I don't know, just uplifting about it, and it uplifts your frequency that you're currently vibrating at. It's almost like out of worldly. It's almost like you're just observing it from above yourself while you're singing it there. I'm not the greatest singer, and I was lucky to have Knox explain to me where I sat in the pitch and frequency. Pitch and tone game. Just again, look to another place, man. It's transcendental. I think that's the word.
Can I take it to another place? I've got a picture here on my phone. Hopefully you can see it as I hold it up to the camera. I want to take it to another place and I want to get inside your mind.
I know exactly where it was.
Can you describe that?
This was Wellington Stadium. 2017, Wellington Stadium, World Cup quarterfinal against New Zealand. Pre-kickoff, just after having New Zealand shun us, we stood and accepted New Zealand's haka, and we had just sung our hymn, and not until after did we realise that New Zealand had shunned us in there. They turned their backs on our hymn, which they would later eat their words on, because we would be the second tier 2 nation to topple them. For me personally, I've been told by Roosters that I wasn't required anymore. Jared Warrior-Hargrave is actually the starting front rower against for the Kiwis, and Isaac Leo as well was another one of the boys. So and back to what we were talking about before, in terms of you're not good enough, or an opportunity to prove yourself, or either prove yourself wrong or prove yourself right or prove someone else wrong. There's another one for me. So that photo, I guess, sums that up. I had trained so bad the day before, and I was so worried about it. It actually turned out to be probably one of the best games I've ever sort of played in my day. So if you ever, for any kids watching any of this, or footy players, if you have a bad training session the day before, don't sweat on it. You can tune out one of the performances of your life the next day. Don't sweat on it then. Just know that you've done the work. And I think statistically for that day, I sort of was one of the better performing players on the field that day. So not that means anything, but I mean, to me personally, it was just a little bit of a stuff you for not picking me over them.
So
that was just due to consistency.
What was the result?
As to why they were picking. The result of that game, we won 4-2. I still watched the last couple of minutes of that game, knowing that we had it in the bag. I think it was the last minute 30. When we get the ball, I think on our 40, we have a real good set, kick it down into the corner, and Roger's trying his hardest to step his way through everyone. And we are just coming like this war machine, just like constant waves, the boys just flying off the line. It's like, I don't know, just a million miles an hour. Every single effort is just every rep you've ever done, and like it's just digging deep. And I'm throwing out all these cliches here. It's cool just to watch it over again. We just came hammering off our line, just knowing that we sort of just. Tala said it best. It was like David versus Goliath. We were crossing over into the land of giants, and we did, and we beat him. And
he said that.
There's another photo of me after the game. Tala said it to us. It was just the theme of our whole thing. We knew we were heading towards the finals, and we're going to be coming up against some strong sides. We were pretty lucky in the pool stages. We had some pretty easier games. So we knew when the time was going to come to face up against the bigger sides, would be definitely stepping up. So, and I think we did. I know we lost to Australia, and Australia beat us heavily, but yeah, it's always tough. It's always tough against Australia, no matter how good you are.
It's hard to
Except
back up.
that was cool. Yeah. Oh, look, definitely. I think it's to back up and play, like pretty much play your ultimate game and then back it up and play it again. For me, I underprepared on that. I definitely underprepared on that my career. If I could give some advice to other kids training, you got to train for the. So it's back-to-back efforts in a game, but then it's back-to-back big efforts in a season. And that's what I learned at Roosters. Like it's hard to replicate your best game of your life again, which is what it is in the World Cup for the lesser nations. It's exposure to the heat of the kitchen. You need to know how to handle it, and it was hard. Yeah. I feel like I just didn't prepare for that well enough. Had I had my time over again, I probably would have mentally trained that within myself. Having been there now, I know that it's there, and when it comes to how to deal with it. But being at Roosters was cool. The next year, which happened to be my last year of footy, again, I entered the year that Tigers won the comp, and I exited the year when Roosters won the comp with Cooper Cronk and his fractured scapula. So, some cool lessons learnt there along the way.
Tell me about your NRL debut when you finally get to make it. How old you are for a start this year? You're one of the oldest debutants.
At the time, I was the oldest debutant in Australia. Almost 30. I was a month shy of 30. 2 months shy of 30. Roosters changed from having a reserve grade side at Newtown to the Central Coast and looking to snare their junior base to have a direct pathway from Central Coast to an NRL system. In 2015, Roosters took up 3 of the boys, didn't take me. Fair enough, right? They didn't really know who I was. So I said, stuff this, 2015, I'll make a statement. Made team of the year, and we went all the way to grand final as the favourites. Probably hard for us going in as a favourites. We underrated Newcastle, and actually Jacob Safidi was playing. Hang on one sec, mate. Melly, turn it off, please. Jacob Safidi was playing for Newcastle, and they beat us, I think, 20-10. So tough one for us. But I just put my foot down and said, stuff this, I'm ripping in this year. If Roosters are going to jump on board, then I try my best to get into Roosters. 2016 rolled around. I took a full-time job on the council, and Robbo knew that. So he said, look, mate, come in 1 day a week. Robbo said, we'll have you on board 1 day a week, mate. This is for no pay too. This was just at my own sort of will. It was pretty much a little part-time, come in every Thursday, which is their down day. I looked at the schedule after the first week and just said, Robbo, mate, this could actually work. I finish work at 9:30 in the morning, and I could be at Roosters by the time you guys kick off the field.
So what time are you starting work?
Just getting in training and...
Lonnie, sorry, what time are you starting work? You see, workday starts with the council.
Probably about...
When are you finishing with our NRL training?
Yeah, so I'm starting at 4:30 in the morning. What are you doing there, kid? Starting work at 4:30 in the morning, finishing at 9:30, and then straight in. So what I would try and do was back up a night shift onto the back of the footy training stuff, so I could try my best to make the next morning's footy training. That wouldn't always work out, but some days I was getting like 3-4 hours sleep, getting up, rolling into that whole day again. So yeah, it was tough looking back on it, but I would not change a single thing for it. I loved it, and in the end, the season prior, the boys who came into training, they were come Christmas time, they were told, look, it's time, go back to Wyong, just play the season up there, we'll call you if we need you. Christmas time came around, and I was not told to leave. I just thought, oh, okay, this has been good. I'll just get to Christmas and then reassess. And they didn't say, oh, go back to Wyong. They just then. I'd finished work one morning and came in, and we had a presentation to the Roosters fans and members. And we're standing on this stage, and I think I got a lend of some clothes with some of the other boys, and Jared Roy Hargraves was like elbowing me, just going, he goes, bro, you made it. I was like, what? He goes, this is it. He goes, if you made it here, you're here. So I was like, all right, cool. Mel and the kids are there, so that was pretty cool. Later on, I think a week or so later, we had our official presentation to at East Leagues Club and stuff with Nick Politis and stuff. So I was like, all right, we're getting closer. And then Nines came around, and we had a trip to Dubai as well, which the whole squad got to go on. So I was just kept getting told to come to all these things. Hello. Round one came around. I went back to Wyong and played for Wyong. Round two, the day after round one, Mac, our assistant coach, who was the coach for England in the World Cup in 2013 as well, rang me and said, mate, come into training. We need you to be 18th man for next week. I was like, I didn't think I played that well, but all right, cool. Was 18th man the next week. Went down to Canberra with the boys. So I thought, oh, we're getting serious now. We're getting close. Craig Fitzgibbon sat me down. Oh, we were just having a shower one day after training, and he said to me, he goes, oh, mate, keep it up. You're not far off playing. I was like, oh, okay, all right. So just ripped in training more and playing where I could. We had a game up in Townsville the next weekend, and Ian Henderson broke his leg against Cowboys. I thought it sucked for Hendo, but I didn't think anything more of it because one of the other boys made his debut that week, and I thought that would be his spot. I just went to work when we got back from Queensland. I just went to work that week, came in the training on the Tuesday because we had the Monday off. And all the boys were just sort of gigging me and just nudging me and smiling and laughing at me. And I was like, what's going on here? I had no idea what was going on. Anyway, we had wrestle that day, and I just ripped right into wrestle. And Robbo sort of sat me down at the end of the I was sitting with Kane and Siwa, and Robbo sat me down at the end of the session and said, he's, oh, mate, are you ready? Because I noticed that day he just following me around and just looking for it was just really watching me with this real keen eye. Anyway, he just sat me down and said, mate, are you ready? I was like, ready for what? He goes, you gonna play? He goes, you gonna play this week? And I said, oh, really? He goes, yeah, mate. He goes, I was like, oh, all right. I didn't even know what to say. From when I was 6 to then, it was a 23-year chase to try and get it, and lucky enough to do it. I'd been through the ringer and lucky enough to get an opportunity at if not one of the best clubs in the world, under the best coach, in one of the best teams. At that time, we had a lot of our great players out. But look, sometimes you need the stars to align for you to get your opportunity. Lucky enough, I did in that regard, and just validated all the whys as to why I tried so hard to make it. In the long run, look, footy's not that big a thing, but for me, it was at that time, it was a pretty cool achievement to myself, and definitely to my family. Mel didn't even believe me when I told her. My dad was going to a Swans game that weekend, so I had to convince him to come to my game. But my whole family was there, and they loved it, mate. I was lucky enough to play another 9 games for the Roosters alongside Kane, and playing another World Cup off the back of that. Stepping away from the footy circle, I've seen how cool or how much more opportunity and stuff there is in life, and footy did play a big part, but it's not the be all and end all. So it's I don't know, it's just something to look back on and have a little giggle to myself, something I tried so hard to achieve and actually did achieve it. And
that first game,
I still would love to be playing, but unfortunately I can't because of concussions. So that sucks, but what do you do? That's life. Sometimes you're dealt a curveball and you got to deal with it. And I'm lucky enough to be coaching now with Mounties in the Raiders reserve grade system. So getting into coaching after, I really wanted to try to give back to some Fijian community, number one. And alongside that was giving back to the Fijian sort of the boys that play footy over there. I'd love to sort of help out as many of those boys as I can. So I think it's a great pathway for Fijians to help improve Fiji and through rugby league. Yeah, unfortunately, coaching against them, but it'd be good to catch up with everyone. I think there'll be a very tough task for a lot of the Australian boys to handle the boys over there. They play a very aggressive and tough style of game. So I can't wait to see what the future holds for. Hopefully I can play a part in some of those players coming through. Got, I don't know, plenty of experience and plenty of little tools to help them bridge the gap, I think. So reach out to me, boys, if you came for some help or came for some, I don't know, any little thing to help you jump and bridge the gap.
Excellent.
And can help out wherever I can. So I'd like to give back to what gave me so many opportunities.
You talk about giving back. The next chapter for you, is it coaching? Is that the next direction you see your life going in?
Yeah, I think it's really, that's the direction I keep sort of heading back towards. Just in my own spare time, I'm always finding a way to try to better myself, and then the application of that is trying to help someone. The application of that is trying to give that to someone else to help them better themselves through me. So whether it be footy coaching or sort of training, coaching, or even sort of mindset stuff, anything like that, I think coaching is where I'm going to end up. So I'm really enjoying that path because I do tend to ponder so much. I think I hold myself back there a bit. I've got to, again, shoot more aim later. Just pull the trigger on a couple of things there. But I have a fair feeling that that's where I'm going to, the path that I'm going to end up going down. So, yeah.
You asked the question yourself with Ninja Warrior. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, what do you want to know? I'm contractually obliged to not say too much, so be careful what you ask me. Last year's experience was great. I loved it. I've definitely been bitten by the bug. I didn't go anywhere near as well as I would have liked to, but it's so hard. It's so hard. It's the people on that show, the good ones, they're their own beast. That you have to be such an all-rounder at so many different things. You have to be super strong. You have to be super powerful. You have to be super athletic. I don't know if I think I already said that. You just have to have such good proprioception and body awareness and the ability to read like whatever's in front of you and have the look. Again, it's reps. You need to have done the reps to progress in it. You got to have the spatial awareness and proprioception on how your body moves in here, which is where I came undone. My hand, my finger there is not that great. It's pretty buckled from footy. So I lost confidence in there were ball grips which I had to jump onto that knocked me out last year on the heat. And the semis was another, not a super hard obstacle. It's just, if I was to do it again, I'd get it in a heartbeat.
If you were to train again, what areas would you concentrate on this time round that you may not have focused on last time?
So just in case I was asked to go back on the show again, I have been training. I've done a lot of things, but it's basically just spatial awareness stuff. It's knowing how your body moves through the air and having the ability to catch that through the air. Strength endurance, so a lot of rock climbing, but you need to get on a trampoline as well. You need to know what your body feels like in the air and know how to be able to stop that. So you need to basically do it. On my Instagram today, I'll put up a video of explosive chin-ups. So you need to know how to jump up in the air and then catch yourself. But you almost have to catch a double body weight chin-up type thing. Because once your body is propelled and accelerating through the air, you need to be able to then rapidly slow that to be able to then move on to the next part of it. There's a lot of that proprioception needed for the core. So it's super cool, super tick the box, but definitely bitten by a whole different kind of bug. I was doing a lot of powerlifting last year, but it sort of had me my body set in a way that I was getting all right at squat, bench, dead, but I lost the athletic movement that I had. So I've incorporated more of that now. I want to be able to dunk. At the moment, my goals are left-hand dunk, 300 kilo deadlift, and the ability to do the splits. So it's not that means anything to anyone, but for me, I like the ability to move fast. I want to be able to run faster. I don't want to ever not have that ability. So, staying fit, healthy, and active is a big part of that. And I like to be able to do stuff that looks cool. So,
they're the things that drive us.
That's roughly where I'm at.
to the next question. What is your? I guess it answers the question. What is your health and fitness philosophy? What is it?
Yep. Set a goal, chase it, conquer it, and then just reassess. I guess in my own stuff, I'm in my own little sort of reassessment. I train so hard in so many different reps and so many different things that style of training is still fun to me, but I wouldn't say I enjoy doing it all the time. So I guess I'm going through a little bit of a transition. I feel a bit more run down than what I used to. So I've tapered my training a little bit in that I probably don't get as much out of it as what I need, but I do as much as I feel I can handle at the time. So the powerlifting stuff was good and fun, but I feel like it burnt me out a bit. I applied my old bodybuilding hypertrophy style to the point of failure and beyond. It's not a game for that. You need to stay below that threshold. So philosophy, it's ever changing. Fun and do what you need to get you to the point where you want to get to, and then your goals will probably change from that point, and then reassess and refire and aim for the next thing that'll get you to where you want to get to next. So for me now, I want to be able to dunk. I want my athleticism back. I've never really been able to dunk, and I've chucked down 2 dunks now pretty well. So that's not a great feat by any means, but it's cool to me. So and if people find it cool, then it's cool. Just to turn yourself into a superhero. I love Dragon Ball Z and the Hulk and stuff like that as a kid. So just be a superhero.
If you could be a superhero right now, who would it be?
I'd be the Hulk. Like Hulk's just what I love seeing as a kid. I mentioned before Ruben Wiki, that hit up from 2008 against the Roosters where he knocked out CSO, and I just love big silverback gorillas, those type of animals, big rhinos, stuff like that. Thanos is my shake. So Thanos is there. He's big and strong and powerful, but no, Hulk, world breaker Hulk. He's pretty hard to beat. So
Hulk's the man.
Yeah, look, you're making me think too many things now, mate.
No, you're right. You're right.
I'm thinking of which power would I want, but ultimately I'll just take full strength Hulk. He's hard to beat.
I hope I don't make you think too much. This is the next question is I think it's wonderful that how you're multi-skilling at the same time, having the chat. You've got the kids around, which to me, is such a metaphor for who you are. You balance so many things quite well. But what does family mean to you?
Everything now, mate. I've been lucky enough to spend the last few weeks in with my kids and the next generation. Really get to, grow myself. Get to see what my wife does. She's been the real tripper here. She's been carrying us heavily through this time. I see what she does when I'm not here, and it's not an easy job. Shout out to all the mums and single dads and everyone who does their stuff at home with their little ones. It's not easy. We'll be thanking the teachers heavily when they get back online. But no, especially with all this Corona stuff, you miss it. I just miss going hanging out with my old man, hanging out with my mum, my stepdad. We read something up on the rules. Our mum-in-law, or my mum-in-law, my wife's mum, Jen came over the other night for dinner. We're actually allowed to do that, so it's not breaking rules of any sort. But she came over. Just miss that human interaction. It's just family's everything, mate. It's just the sort of the linchpin that holds it all together. So it's for me to just getting this little next generation of mine, making them better people than what we are, and hopefully they can make a mark on the world, and hopefully we can leave enough of the world to let them leave their own mark and improve it and whatever it needs improving in. So we're just making little, hopefully the cool little people here. And that's cool to me and Mel. So we love just doing our bit with them.
Well, mate, I think you're a good example to lots of people. Your family, obviously, and a lot of other people who are out there. I think you provide an inspiration to a lot of people, mate. And I guess going back, What are the three things? What's the three pieces of advice you would give yourself back when you were, 18, 19?
I never really thought of this before. Stumped me. Every rep counts. Work super hard because it will take you places. Don't second guess yourself too much because more often than not you'll head down the right path. Love hard and love a lot. Yeah. I think I said 4 or 5 there, but
That's
in a nutshell, a couple of them interrelate to each other. So yeah,
100%.
love hard, mate. Love hard.
Lonnie, I just want to really thank you for your time today and the insights that you provided and coming on board with Tell Insights and giving us your valuable time. Mate, you're an absolute champion. I think whatever the future holds for you, it's going to be wonderful, and you will sort of make your mark as well as influencing others to make their mark as well. So I really thank you for your time, mate.
No worries at all, mate. Thanks for having me. Hopefully, yes, everyone can take a little bit of something out of my story and apply it to themselves. And look, reach out to me if anyone needs anything from me. I love a good chat, love a good yarn, and love a good exchange of info on how to sort of better. I just want to see a better world, mate. So,
what is your Instagram?
I don't think it's that hard to.
What is your
my
Instagram?
is just my name. Eloni Vunakece. If you search Thanos, you'll see me. I'm the first on the post. I'm on the Thanos somehow. So, yeah, just Eloni Vunakece, just my name, just ELONI. That's me. I'm on there. So, yeah, thanks to you, Terry, and thanks to Tell Insights, and looking forward to what the future holds. So, yeah, hopefully, we can help inspire some other people to pursue their dreams and chase them hard, and then reset some new ones and chase them as well. So, hopefully, make the world a better place.